Hi everyone, welcome back to the Minecraft world. Today we'll be going over how to add lore to your world and successfully world build. I'm not going to claim to be an expert, but I hope that I can give you some helpful tips, point you in the right direction if you're looking to give your world just a little bit more lore and make it seem a little bit more interesting. Let's get right into it. Using your existing structures and Minecraft structures. In Minecraft, there's a lot of buildings and sites that potentially you have built or the game has generated for you. And these sites are very important to building and establishing lore for your Minecraft world. And some of them are already important to the game already. Consider strongholds, which are what most Minecraft players try to reach when playing the game, in survival at least. It's the end, of course, and it seems pretty important. I mean, there's, the dragon, I guess, is there, and there's a lot of strongholds that have been built in your world, potentially by someone, or just generated, if that's what you want to believe, that exist. And kind of leaning into that is villages. You see, because in Bedrock Edition, maybe less so in Java, there's a chance that a stronghold could generate beneath a village, which naturally leads to the question of who built the stronghold? Was it the villagers? Was it someone else? Interesting stuff to potentially tap into when world building. Those threads are there for you. And leading into that is the, of course, amazing number of ruined portals scattered across your Minecraft world, my Minecraft world, everyone's Minecraft world, if it's in a version that has ruined portals anyway. And you see, because ruined portals seem to indicate that there was some sort of maybe piglin invasion, maybe, or something like that. And or at least that's what I'd like to believe, considering one, maybe the Minecraft movie, but two, before that, I had watched, Captain Sparkle's Minecraft music videos, and that's kind of where the series Dragonhearted went. So maybe you want to tap into that. For me, that's what I tap into. And of course, more recently, Minecraft has added trail ruins, which for me are very important because they seem to be much older than, of course, village structures, which seems to indicate that maybe there was someone who came before the villagers. And you can use that to tap into more of your story building. Because, see, not only can you connect those structures together, you can also connect stuff you've built. Because you see, one of the most important things to put in your Minecraft world is paths between these locations, paths between your existing stuff that you've built and these generated structures, because it gives your Minecraft world a more cohesive feel. Paths make perfect. And you see, you should be inspired in your Minecraft world. You should build from a variety of sources, stuff that you're engaging with, stuff that you've watched, etc. Recently in my Minecraft world, I built a giant, I call it Giant Step. And you see, it's basically more or less Giant Step from Earthbound, which is a game that I've been watching someone play recently. And I've also built the Heart of the World, which is kind of inspired by Kingdom Hearts, which I also watched recently. And if you can unite all of these unique experiences that you've had from various places in your life, it makes your Minecraft world just feel more alive when you come back to it. But it's also a part of the world. It doesn't feel like it's, your stuff and then there's the Minecraft stuff. You can unite all of these things together. Just make sure you put paths with them. Using maps to your advantage. In Minecraft, there's likely to be a lot of maps that you've made. Probably, most likely for most people, it's a giant map room that shows your entire world at one simple glance. And unfortunately, in Minecraft, most maps just have a locator, which kind of doesn't convey that much information to you, the player, if you, say, wanted more detailed maps. You could, of course, always create custom maps and lock them in place using, I think it's glass. I can't remember. I haven't done that, if you couldn't tell. But you could do that, or you could create your own custom maps that let you see your Minecraft world in a different light. Consider what I would say is probably the most basic of the map modes, which I think is also maybe the most practical, is the routes map mode. Well, I guess map modes. You see, in Minecraft, you're very likely to have built a nether tunnel or some sort of nether route if you have a lot of places that you need to reach. And this is why one of these maps can be helpful for you, is you can quickly at a glance see how developed your world is, where everything is in relation to everything else, and where it lies on the map relative to everything else. And this can make it really, really easy to determine where you maybe need to invest more into your world. As you can see, in some parts of my world, there are way more concentrated nether portals than in other parts, so potentially other places need more investigation, or maybe need some more nether portals to be developed. And if you're looking for something maybe a little more simple, there's the land and sea routes map mode. This is maybe a little more helpful for world building, but also is helpful for determining where you maybe have paths built. In my world, I have lots of paths that have been connecting villages or other structures to each other, like trail ruins and other sites. And so all those structures are connected via paths that you can walk along. And some of them are a lot bigger than others. Some of them reach waterways, and that's why they don't maybe continue. For example, Southern Road and the Eagle Road you could reach via water. As you can see, there's the Wolfox Port Janeway, and you could reach Moose Road and Far Southern Road. So for the most part, as long as there are waterways connecting roads, you should be able to do what you want and making your world feel pretty interconnected. I also labeled a railway that I built, but that's maybe not something that you'll have maybe too extensively throughout the world, because those are kind of expensive, and your rail are probably better used in your nether. But maybe neither of those maps are good. Maybe you're looking for something maybe even just more basic, maybe something more broad. That's where the geographic map can help. You see, the geographic map is really basic. It's just you naming sites around your world that you maybe want to give names to. For example, in my Minecraft world, I decided to name the continent Spagonia, which is a reference, if you might understand, with the name Kingdom Valley and the picture as well. I won't spoil it if you don't know, but otherwise, you can name sites around your world. Lush Jungle, Indigo Plateau, also references. And this allows you to really define the limits of your Minecraft world. For me, that means the Southern Ocean is basically the more or less edge of the world. Don't go any more far south than that. I mean, the maps that I already have there are far south. So maybe I don't want the world to go much further than that. And having boundaries for your world is really helpful, because it lets you say, hey, if there happens to be a version that changes Minecraft world generation, which more or less happens every couple of updates, you can define parts of your world that you know for sure won't change. So if you need to load more chunks, you can. Unfortunately, my Minecraft world is really old, so I have no idea which. Well, I mean, I can check using, tools, but for the most part, I can't know for sure which chunk I'm in when it's been generated, other than seeing leaf litter. So that can be helpful in defining your world, parts where you maybe don't want to explore anymore, and parts where you want to name so that you know exactly what's there, and kind of tells a story in of itself. Silent Jungle, for example, is named Silent Jungle because it's kind of like a decaying jungle, honestly. Seeing that there's a desert right next to it, it seems to be having a climatic change. Whereas the Lush Jungle is doing just fine. There's forest nearby. It's a nice tropical area, so there doesn't seem to be any problems. But maybe those previous maps don't appeal to you. Maybe you're looking for something more leaning into the world building space rather than practical. Well, maybe consider a language map. You see, in Minecraft, there's the Galactic Standard Alphabet, which you should be familiar with if you've interacted with the enchantment table before. And at the same time, with signs and books, you can type in the language that you speak and write on a day-to-day basis. At the same time, villagers also seem to speak some sort of unknown language to us, perhaps. There is a way to unite all three of these things. You see, if you're familiar with ancient Egyptian, you'll know that ancient Egyptian writing had hieroglyphs, but it also had demotic script. And this is where we can apply the idea of having two written forms of a language, which is common in other places in the world, I believe, too. It's not just ancient Egypt, but this allows us to unify those two things so that they're not separate, and at the same time allow villagers to speak some sort of known language that isn't known to us. In this case, I've chosen to make all villagers speak the same language group because that, of course, makes sense. They don't speak any different depending on which type of village you go to, so we'll just make it easy for ourselves. But it also gives you a lot of tools for world building because, of course, the natural question is, how did this language spread that far? Something worth considering. Building off of the language map mode, if you want to consider how that language spread, maybe make a culture map. You see, in Minecraft, there are, of course, established principles we know about the world. For example, villagers prefer to trade with emeralds, and if you want to enchant with things, you're going to need a helpful amount of lapis lazuli. Well, we can bake these things into the Minecraft world by using old cultures. These to me are maybe things that predate any Trail Ruins sites or anything like that, but just give us an idea of maybe more where village spheres are concentrated. For example, in this case, all southern cultures are more associated with the clean emerald culture, and all more northern cultures are either Cutlappy or in this case Old Wolven, which is the werewolf kingdom that I've built. And that can lean more into the future when you have separate cultural spheres. So, for example, I've built the Aditori, they're my predominant culture, and then there's some other southern cultures, but basically, for the most part, I've defined village spheres to be associated with a specific culture so that they aren't just disconnected villages that have no relation to each other. All of these villages are in some way connected to each other and share a larger cultural element. And this might be helpful too, for example, for me with the Kyberan culture, they happen to feature a lot of copper in their buildings. And that's a stylistic choice I made so that that culture is very distinguishable from any other site. And that's something you might want to consider when building your Minecraft world, that you can maybe more clearly articulate when something was built, or if it was built in a clearly distinct style that makes it clear that it's different than the rest of the world. Lastly, we have the religion map mode. You see, in Minecraft, it's very clear that villagers seem to be worshipping some sort of religion, because there's clerics, and also villages seem to generate some sort of temple-like structures. So naturally, the question you could ask is, what are they worshipping? And that's where you come in. You can make it anything you want. It could be, of course, an existing religion in the world. It could be your own custom religion for Minecraft. Whatever you think fits your world, you can make it. And it might be helpful when you're doing that to build a bunch of, holy sites so that your religion is clearly established throughout your world. And a lot of these holy sites are near villages, so it's clearly linked to those villages, that those are the holy sites for those villages. Now, it might also be helpful to determine spheres if you maybe have different religions. In my case, I have single religion, because it can help you also determine vectors of spread. Because naturally, if you define religions for your Minecraft world, the question is, how did those religions spread? Which naturally leads into other map modes we've discussed, which is why I always want to say it might be helpful to make more than just one of these maps for your Minecraft world if you're looking to really get the benefits of world building. Putting it all together. Using these maps in unison can help you determine what projects you want to do, where to do them, and allows you to naturally explore, evolve, and live the history of your Minecraft world. For my Minecraft world, it's 650 CE in the medieval era. And I've defined these histories of all these cultures using books and signs. I've made it clear, but also maybe not so clear with environmental storytelling. And something you might want to do for your Minecraft world is something I mentioned earlier that I really want to hark on. Don't make your Minecraft world monolithic. What do I mean by that? I mean, let it be inspired naturally by a lot of sources. If you find yourself getting bored in your Minecraft world, maybe it's because you are doing more or less the same things, and maybe you need to change it up. Maybe you need to build different things. Maybe you need to approach how you're building things from a different perspective. And that can give you a lot of value in determining what you actually want to do or where you could go. And another really important point is to just let things blend. Whether this is the boundary at the edge of your world or, the spots, the gaps between your existing builds, you want to make things feel like they naturally blend. So, for example, in my Minecraft world, at the perimeter villages, I prefer to make those villages seem maybe a little more primitive or less, let's say, developed than maybe my more predominant kingdoms at like the center of the world. because I want to make it so that if you decided to go further out into the Minecraft world and you found villages that hadn't been explored before, they wouldn't seem so detached from the rest of the world. They'd feel like you've reached the outskirts, you've reached the really furthest points of the world. And that's important when you're building your Minecraft world, because in some cases, if you have lots of things really clustered together, it can feel like you have a really developed site and then, there's just the rest of the world. And that can sometimes make it feel maybe a little less fun. So consider all of these options, and I hope that this video has been helpful. I hope that you have all the tools you need to give your Minecraft world all of the lore you could want it to and successfully world build.